Hello everyone, welcome to Blackheath Flower Club Christmas Wreath video. Here's two examples of Christmas wreaths, and it's traditional to collect evergreen material to put in a wreath, things such as holly, ivy, mistletoe, yew, or anything else really that you've got around. It's very easy to collect greenery from parks, woodland, people's overgrown gardens, wherever, and you do need a lot of material. That is one thing I'd say about wreaths. Okay, this is one I did earlier. You can see the round shape. You usually put the pointed material at the edge to make a nice shape, and you're supposed to leave a space in the middle. There's not too much of a space here. And then after you've put the foliage around, you add decorations. This one's got cones and pretend berries.
I like the way you've got the variegated as well.
Yes, it's nice if you choose material that is varied in colours and shapes. Right, let me put this one over to the side. So that's what we're going to aim for today. But also I had a friend who said she wanted one that was made out of dried material so she could use it over and over again. So this is what I've done with this one, and instead of going around the edge with foliage, I've put a ribbon on the side. So that cuts the width out a little bit for her little door. I don't know why she's got such a little door, but she says she wanted a really little ring, so that's what I've done there. That's all materials that have been dried and sprayed.
And you spray the teasels white, and it's really effective.
It is quite difficult to cover that brown foam. You can get a lighter colour foam for dry arrangements. I really should have used that, but it's quite effective. Okay, let's start talking about making a wreath then. I'm going to be talking to you about making a wreath on a foam base. It's got a nice plastic backing with these little stoppers, so when you put it on the door it doesn't scratch your door. And on the other side is the foam. You've got an outer edge, a top and an inner edge that you need to cover. The first thing you need to do is think about how you're going to attach it to your door. So you get a long length of ribbon, fold it in half, loop it through like this so it's a slip knot.
That's a good idea.
And this will hold, this won't give way on your door. You could also put behind it wired string if you're worried about it being stolen. I know I did have one stolen one day, but the more wire you put on it, the more difficult it is to nick. So,
and soaking?
I failed to say that this is going to be soaked. So I just put it face down in some cold water in the sink. The bubbles come up, the air comes up. When it stops bubbling, then it is ready to just drain and use.
It's only about a minute or so, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very short time to soak. If I show you on this one how we put the material in, just to start with, and then I'll go to another one that I've done. So I've already chosen materials that I'm going to use. So here's my outside material, and I've cut everything down so they've got a little bit of stem to stick in. And it's really important with a wreath that the things stick in quite well, because the door is going to be opening and shutting. So you need to have everything very firm on the wreath, otherwise it's a waste of time. Okay. What you would normally do is go around the edge first to make the shape, and you put it at a diagonal angle so that the stem goes down. Now the reason we do that is because later we put material on the top, and we don't want that stem to get in the way of this stem. So I would go round and round like this.
I love that lime green.
Yep, I think they're all Leylandii, but you'd go around like that on the outside, and I'll be doing some more of this a bit later on. And then the important thing and the most difficult thing is to cover the inside of the rim. and I will just put them flat against the inside. Now, the material on the outside is pointy to make a nice shape, and the material on the inside is more flatter leaves, and I'm overlapping them so that because this wreath won't be seen from this angle, it will be seen straight up. So you have to hide the foam. So that's how we do it. And a wreath takes a very long time to do. It takes about an hour to do a wreath. It's quite fiddly. So I've got one here that's half done, and I'll carry on with that one. Thanks.
Here's your Blue Peter one.
Thank you.
This is one you made earlier.
It's one I half made earlier. You can see how it's nearly the same as that one. So I'm going to carry on doing this. I'm going to start with the outside like I showed you before. So there's quite a lot of preparation in the wreath. And you want to get this material to slightly overlap. Now this one that I'm doing at breakneck speed won't be as good. Sorry, camera person. This one's too long. The other thing to check is how wide you can have your material, because you don't want it so wide that it covers, it has to fit your door, and you have to be able to get to your post book, what's it called, letterbox.
And what else have you used in there? Skimmier.
Yes.
That's rather nice.
You tell me, Sean, what can you see?
There's some skimmier there.
Skimmier. I've used almost everything I could find, actually.
Oh, and the cinnamon stick there.
I counted how many pieces of material I need, and it's 12 of each kind of the light coloured conifer and 12 of the other one, so that's 24 bits. Generally, it's quite a lot of material to collect.
And I love the buried ivy as well. That adds another texture, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's quite hard to get hold of. You really need to, if you can, it's best to get hold of it when the berries are black. I'm not doing that very well, sorry people.
Do all the berries go black though? I think.
No, some of them just burst open, and then the flowers drop really quickly. I think I'm short by a few pieces. Let me just cut another bit off. Right. Can you see that I've completed the edge there? Now I'm going to go around the middle with my flatter leaves.
Yes, so it's all time consuming, but worth it all in the end.
It is worth it in the end, it's nice in the end. So you will have to collect your material, cut it down to size, double check that it's going to fit in your doorway. Yeah, all ready to do it. We have bought some ring bases if you wanted to try this at home, and if you haven't got the ring, we can deliver it to you with instructions. We've made an instruction sheet.
That's a good idea, Richard. Good idea.
And I'm also going to tell you about wiring your decorations. I've got some cones and cinnamon to go in this.
So it's going to smell lovely as well.
Should do. Rosemary would have been lovely, but I didn't have any rosemary.
Oh, she went home. Boom, boom.
My rosemary at home has really been trimmed so much it's unusable now, so
Well,
I've got
there's
to leave
lots of
it.
rosemary with some bug that's eaten.
Right, there's the middle done.
Very, very
Very
nice.
nice. You've still got the gap in the middle.
I hope so. Right, now we're doing the top. And this has got, I think it's called rotational symmetry. where things repeat. So on the top, it's got repeated units of material. It's got skimmia, and I've only got a little bit of, skimmia here. 3 lots of skimmia, so I'm going to repeat that. Little bits of 2. Yeah. There. There's my skimmia. And then I've got this lovely greenery, and none of us seem to know what it's called, so that might be something for you to call us about. It's a beautiful little evergreen.
That's a mystery.
So we're putting that in either side of the skimmias. Oh, the other thing to say to you is you need a lot of space to do this. I'm a bit cramped at the end of this table for filming, but if you had more room, it would make it easier for you to do. Because it is a bit fiddly. Again, each piece is stripped so that we're not putting leaves into the foam, we're putting stalks into the foam.
And how often do you think you should spray it when it's on the door?
As soon as spray it as soon as it looks floppy, but it should last a couple of weeks. All these materials are quite strong.
Because they're woody, aren't they?
They're woody, that's right, Carol. Most of it's woody and evergreeny, so it does last a long time. Right, that's that. Then I also had I thought I would try and put ivy and holly in this decoration. So I'm not gonna put it in yet. I'm going to show you how to wire some cinnamon sticks. They are very tricky, they're very, very slippy, and I've wired it with something called reel wire. Because it's very thin wire and it comes on a reel like this. You have to work out how much you need. I thought I'd cut a piece, but I've lost it. It's about 1 foot, I think.
Is it worth scratching it a bit to get...
That might be an idea. I hadn't known about that. I'm putting the 2 bits together. I'm leaving the bit that I need to form a leg with. I call it a leg. It's what's going to sit in the foam. And I wind it round kind of unevenly, because that seems to hold it better, and then really pinch it tight, twist it. So I've got cinnamon there, and then I bend back the stalk or the leg, twist it again, and this bit, the rounded bit, goes into the foam, and see I've got them there, 1, 2, 3, so I need to put one there to keep the symmetry. That looks good, and I've also got cones, so I sprayed my cones, and the way you wire it is, this is, what's the name of this? Stub wire.
Oh, stub wire, yes.
You find a place in the cone where you can slide in the stub wire, pull it round, like this. You need 1 bit for the leg, other bit here, just like with the cinnamon, make another leg.
So you're giving it a stalk, aren't you, really?
I'm giving it a stalk, but I'm also making it, it's no good putting 1 little wire to stick in the foam. It will fall out. If you do this little rounded sort of bit at the end, it may go in, but it won't come out, because you put it right in there where it's thin, and then you've got fat bits that can't pull out.
Yes, gotcha.
Right.
Where to put it?
Where to put it? Well,
exciting.
Here. To goodness,
Show
works
it proud.
like either one, which I did earlier. Right, we're almost there.
Has some nice different light colours, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Livens with the greenery up.
Now I'm sticking in little tiny pieces of ivy that I've cut into little units again. Just because I thought I should do something a bit more traditional. And I didn't find much holly with berries. You never can this time of year, because somebody's always been there first. So,
All the birds.
Yeah, all the birds, or maybe there wasn't much.
Had their breakfast.
I did have another bit. There it is. Another bit by my coat. Right, and at some point you need to hold it up and check. Are there any spaces when you look at your... You see here, I've got some spaces.
Yes.
That's when you see the spaces now. So I'll just fill in that bit.
Okay.
And that will be that, I think.
Fabulous.
And these last quite a while, don't they?
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
wreaths.
Should last
What,
quite
a
while
month?
now.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I'm going to give it 2 weeks. There we are, done.
It looks really, really nice. I pretend to hang it up.
Also, you can put this. People have trouble where to secure it. You can put it right over the top of your door and then nail it on the inside with a little panel pin.
Oh, yes.
You can do that if you haven't got a knocker.
Yes, yes.
That's the way
Go
to
over
do it.
the top of the door, inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Beautiful. Well done, Richard.
Done.
Round of applause and goodbye. Happy New Year as well.
Oh, Happy New Year.